This lesson is going to be on variables and expressions. Remember, in our last video or two, we talked about numerical expressions, and now we're going to throw in variables as well. Some vocabulary we need for this lesson is algebra is a branch of mathematics that uses symbols. Okay, so it's no longer just operations and numbers. Going into that, we need to know about what a variable is. A variable is a letter or symbol used to represent an unknown value. So if we already have a number, that is considered a known value. But if we need something to hold an unknown, you would use a letter or a symbol, which is a variable. You can use any letter for a variable. Okay, so some examples are we have 7 plus x equals 10. X would be your unknown. We have 2 plus x equals 10. Again, x would be your unknown. We have x plus 4 equals 10. Again, x would be your unknown. And we have x plus 2 equals 10. Again, x is your unknown. Another vocabulary word we need to know is an algebraic expression. Okay, it's going to be different than a numerical expression, which is what we've been working with, but it's only a little bit different. So it contains at least one variable and at least one mathematical operation. Remember, when we're talking about operations, it's multiplying, adding, subtracting, dividing. If you look on the right side, there's some examples of an algebraic expression. We have 4 minus x. Again, we have an operation and a variable, so that meets our requirements for an algebraic expression. We have 5m, which is 5 times m plus 6. Again, that meets your requirement. Okay, it has one operation, which is the plus sign, and we have our variable m. We have a, b. If you remember from last year, when two variables are next to each other, that means multiplying. So that's a times b. So we do have an operation in there, even though you cannot see it. And our last example is y. That little slash or fraction bar, most of you are common. Remember, a fraction also means division divided by 3. So again, we have our variable, and we have an operation, which is division. Now we're going to talk about steps to writing an algebraic expression. It is very similar to a numerical expression, but now we're going to have to figure out an unknown, which you will see in examples and in the steps. So step 1, make sure you're writing these down, is to identify the most important words. So what I like to do is I like to circle the operations and underline the numbers, and you can change that order if you want, just basically marking important information. Next, you're going to want to identify the unknown. Okay, so when you're reading the problem, they're going to say cost of an apple, and we might not know what the cost is yet. So you're going to have to find the unknown and choose a variable. Remember, you can use any letter that you want to represent the unknown. And your step 3, you're going to translate your verbal phrase into an algebraic expression. Let's take a look at some examples. So example number 1, it says $3 more than the cost of a sandwich. Let's us underline the operations, or circle the operations, sorry. So we have more than is our operation. What numbers do we know already? So we have $3, so let's underline that. And we need to box in the unknown. Do we know the cost of the sandwich? If it's not given to us, then we do not know it. So let's box that in. So we circle our operations, we underline the numbers that are given to us, and I box in our unknown, the cost of the sandwich. So we need to write an expression. So we're giving $3, more than means plus, and then we're going to say the cost of a sandwich. We don't know the cost of the sandwich, so I'm just going to put C for cost. So you should have 3 plus C. Example 2. our expression is 2 more than $6 per hour. So we have more than again. So it's 2 more than $6 per hour. Let's underline some numbers. So we have 2. And we're talking about $6 per hour. But we do not know, this one's a little tricky, we don't know how many hours it's going to be. So if you're going to be 2 hours, 3 hours, it might change. So it's saying $6 per hour, but we do not know how many hours. So we can also underline the 6. So our expression would be 2 more than $6 per hour. So I'm going to do 6 times H, 6 times the number of hours. And our last topic of this lesson is on evaluating. So one of the important things, evaluate means to solve. So when we're evaluating these problems, there is one definition you need to know. You need to know what substitution is. Okay, what substitution is you're replacing a variable with the known value. So it's going to be a number to evaluate, so that means to solve the expression. So they're going to give you an unknown. So for example, y equals 2x plus 11. The x is unknown. If you look below it, they then tell us that x is 4. So if we know the value of x, it's no longer unknown. We can plug it into the problem, which they did down here, to solve it. So now they did y equals 2. We replaced the x with a 4 because we know it equals 4 plus 11. And then you would go ahead and solve. So let's look at some examples. It says evaluate d plus 5 minus f if d equals 16 and f equals 18. So if you look in our problem, we have 2 variables, but they are no longer unknown because they are telling us what they equal. So you're going to take the value for d and plug it in. You're going to take the value for f and plug it in. So you should rewrite it. So d is now 16, so you're going to have 16 plus 5, and you're going to minus 18 because that's what f equals. So now you need to add 16 plus 5 together, which gives you 21. And then you're going to minus your 18, which will give you your final answer of 3. Your second example, 6 minus e plus f if e equals 3 and f equals 9. Again, we're going to evaluate, so we're going to solve. In our problem, we have 2 variables that are unknown, but it says if they equal something, so they're no longer unknown. They're giving a value, so you need to substitute them in. So it says e is 3, so you're going to have to plug 3 in for e, and it's saying f equals 9, you're going to plug that in for f. So we're going to have 6 minus 3 plus 9. So we have 6 minus 3, that equals 3. And then you're going to plus 9, which equals 12. So all you're doing is taking your unknown values and replacing them for the values that they're going to equal, and then just solving using your order of operations. So that will be the end of this lesson. We'll talk more about everything in class tomorrow.